What's up, podcast land? Before we get started, I just want to let you know that this podcast episode will discuss a specific person's experience with sexual assault and abuse. These topics could be upsetting for you if this is something that you experience or if you're sensitive to these type of topics. Just want to let you know this is your trigger warning. Roll the intro. What's up, podcast land? It's your girl Nisha, and welcome back to another episode of Laughing and Crying. This is the podcast that values all relationships, including the ones that we have with ourselves. If you're new, welcome. Glad you're here. Hope you have some fun. And on today's show, we're going to start out with, let me tell you a story, and then have a conversation with our guest. Yes, I said guest. About how she learned to trust herself again. And I think it's going to be dope. So let's get into it. So as I alluded to, I have somebody in the building, and it's a new friend, Demetria. Say what's up to the people.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, it's an honor. So I've gotten an opportunity to know Demetria a little bit more than you guys know, of course, but I know everyone's curious. And we're going to get into her story a little bit deeper in a minute when we have our conversation. But Demetria, briefly tell us a little bit more about who you are. Who is Demetria?
So, thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing. So, a little bit about me. I am 37. I'm from Louisiana. I have one son. He will be 11 next week. And I am a romance writer. I am inspirational and motivational writer. I'm an author, and I host conferences and retreats yearly for female and male entrepreneurs. And I have an empowerment magazine for women to share their stories, their truth. And that's just a little bit about me.
I love it. What's the name of your magazine?
So the name of the magazine is called Empowering Women to Speak Out. And so I have a new magazine that's called Women's Journey. So in this magazine, women just have definitely been sharing their journey. It can be from childhood to now, all of that. So they just really been sharing their journey. So it's really been exciting.
I love that. Definitely, this is the reason why I felt like you're my people, because you're already pioneering the journey to being vulnerable and honest and open. And I just think that that's so brave, and I love it. And it's what we're trying to do over here on Laughing and Crying, is to allow people to know they're not alone. And we're never going to know that if we don't tell our story. And so for the first segment, I know you don't know, but normally we tell a story to jump into the episode. And so I asked Demetria to tell a story for us today. So I'm excited for what she's about to tell us, because I feel like I'm always the one telling the story. So take it away.
So I've been thinking about a story that I was going to tell when you asked me that. And I was like, what story, can I tell? Right. And so I wanted to pull one from my marriage. When I was married. I am divorced. So I think that is hilarious now. And so when I got married to my husband in 2017, we got each other rings. And so I got his ring, he got my ring. And so probably like after a month later of me having the ring on my finger, my finger started to turn brown.
No.
And the ring was turning brown. And I'm like, what's going on here? And so I'm just asking him. He's like, oh, yeah, that ring is real. And, I pay a lot of money for it, blah, blah, blah. Like, he was really like, I don't know what's happening. They sold me a fake. Like, he was really going in. And so I ended up finding out that he got the ring from Walmart. And so the day that I went to the doctor to see what's my finger
Right.
okay, because it was turning garnish green. And so the doctor ended up giving me 5 days antibiotics. And so I'm like, you know what? Let me
Stop.
go into Walmart. So I go into Walmart and I'm just like asking one of the girls, I was like, did this ring come from here? So basically she didn't know. So it's an older woman there and she was just like, I think, yeah, this is one of ours. And I was like, it's brown. My husband bought it for our wedding. And so she looked around for like 15 minutes. She said, ha, I found it. So she found the ring that was there and the price was 16 1672 or 1675
No, listen,
or
you
something like
guys.
that. Yes. So, but she says that wasn't the kicker though. The kicker was she said, but it's on sale for $7.92.
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
so she said, do you have a receipt or the box or anything? I said, no. And so basically I'm sitting here, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just like, wow, like I just can't believe it. And so basically she gave me my money
$7.
back. She gave me my money back. And so she told me to keep the ring. She gave me the $16 back.
Oh,
So I
60.
walked out of there crying and with $16 in this ring in my hand.
Listen, I'm really trying
She
not to
told
laugh
me
because this
about
happened.
it today. I'm like, I can't believe I went through that. So yeah, that's a story that I
I
laugh
wish
about it today,
Andre
and I'm just
would.
like, okay, that's the reason why it's so important to know your worth, to know your worth. And
Come on.
we're gonna get a little bit into the power of your words and the things that I spoke before I got that ring. So we're gonna get a little bit into that. So
I just have to
yeah,
pause for dramatic effects.
yeah,
This girl just told me, this woman told
yeah.
me that her husband got her a $60 ring and it was on sale.
She said, "Oh, it's on sale now."
I'm sure because it's cutting people's fingers off. Okay. Like, I am. Oh, now, for all the men out there, if you dare get somebody a ring from Walmart, I mean, if it's what you can afford, it's what you can afford, but we should be under an understanding that that's what we're doing. But no, it's a no for me. It's a no for
Oh
me.
yeah, oh yeah, should most definitely be a no for you. It was a no for me then, but we're gonna get
We're
into
gonna
that.
talk about it.
Yeah, we're
We
gonna talk
gotta
about
talk
it.
about it.
We're
Okay,
gonna
so
talk.
yes, like speaking of, let's go on and move on. This is the conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. Demetria has a book from Broken to Businesswoman where she talks about her story and she talks about just her journey through her life and all of the different obstacles that she encountered along the way and who she is today. And I'm definitely gonna let you, as we're having a conversation, like if you want to tell more details about the book and what made you write it and all of those kind of things, like feel free to insert that wherever you want. But I just want to say, like, this topic of trusting yourself again
Mm-hmm.
or learning to trust yourself is so important to me because when
Mm-hmm.
you grow up with the type of obstacles she's going to talk about, or even that I feel like I've been through, whether that be like abuse, neglect, gaslighting, and you have to do a lot of repair, you get to a point where you start to second guess like everything you do. And you get to a point
Mm-hmm.
where, to your point earlier, like you start to question your worth. And I know my faith speaks to it as like our worth is what God sees us as. But in the light of our
Mm-hmm.
humanity and like living in a world that says if you have it easy, if you have the husband that doesn't buy you the $17 ring, it means you're worth more, you know? And we're fighting that battle of how do we trust, like,
Mm-hmm.
how do I trust me? How do I trust the decisions I make? And so, kind of walk us through your story a little bit, the point where you labeled yourself broken to begin with.
All of it really started when I was around 16 years old. and I was almost molested by my aunt's husband.
Oh
And we
gosh.
had a family member that was a witness to that. And
Mm.
so at the age of 16, of experiencing a man coming up the hallway, and then he just put his hands over my mouth and tried to go in my breast and things like that. And so
Oh wow.
I started kicking and different things like that and got his hand removed from my mouth. And I started screaming, and a family member witnessed that.
Right.
And so basically, nothing was done about it. No one called the police. Nobody said anything else about it. Absolutely no one. And I was told to be quiet. I was told to not go running my mouth and don't say anything. And
Mm.
so at the age of 16, I felt like it was my fault. And so
Mm.
going into adulthood with this mindset of like, okay, things were your fault. And it was hard for me to have like different relationships,
Right.
and especially with choosing, because I always felt like something was my fault. So it was just like, I didn't really know how to choose a partner for myself. I really didn't know how to keep my business to myself when I met certain people, or I
Right.
was so vulnerable and I was so just wanted to please other people because that one incident that nobody protected me, nobody saved me,
Yeah.
from what almost happened to me.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's when it all started. That really that broken piece of me and
Yeah.
feeling unloved because I wasn't protected. So,
Mm.
yeah,
And so you kept going.
yeah.
When you did, I know I heard you say that you didn't really know how to choose relationships for yourself. Are you just speaking romantically, or are you speaking like you ran into issues with friendships?
No, not just that. Again, as I said, I didn't know how to choose, with meeting people, even females, and I would do certain things like write, and people would just see
Right.
me and want to, just get close to me, and I was just so vulnerable. I would think that everybody was my friend. I would
Mm.
trust any and everybody, and
You
because
said
I
something
just
there.
wanted to feel loved.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely I wanted to feel loved. I wanted to feel like something wasn't my fault in life. And so I did whatever to please somebody else. Again, I wasn't really writing what I wanted to write. I wasn't really writing who I knew I was as a
Right.
writer. I wasn't really doing what I really truly wanted to do.
Right.
And so, going into that church field and thinking like everybody is my friend at church,
Yeah.
thinking all these women is for me because they had a title, prophetess or pastor or this and that. Like I would just do whatever to just please
Yeah.
whoever. Because,
Yeah.
and it goes back to that 16-year-old girl. It goes back to that 12-year-old girl just feeling unloved, from all the name calling and different things like that. So,
Mm. First, want to say so sorry that that's something that you had to experience, especially when you
I
talk
was,
about from the church, because I know as Black people, and just like if you grew up Christian or whatever the case may be, like that's a place that's supposed to be like safety for
mm-hmm,
someone. And so to hear
mm-hmm,
that that's what happened, like that sucks. That's just straight up.
mm-hmm.
I think a little bit a part of that is a part of a lot of people's story, like
Yeah.
trying to run to somewhere for safety and you get shunned. And so thank you for sharing
Mm-hmm.
that. Did looking back on that, especially as you got into more of your adult life and you started, like you said, you got married, did looking back on that at that point in time, did any of those things feel like normal for you? Like, well, this is just kind of what happens. Like, this happened to me when I was younger. These people shunned me in the church. Like, this is just my life. Like, or did you see it as a problem even then?
So, yes, a lot of things, of just growing up, it really did begin to feel normal
Yeah.
because it was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is how I was treated when I was younger. So it was like, okay, at
Yeah.
24, I met this guy off of this chat line thing, and
Yeah.
2 months later, he wanted to get married. And this is
Wow.
the first time I got married. So I was married for 6 months. I was 25 and he was 38.
Wow.
And he was like, oh, just marry me. And I was like, I really don't want to. Not really
Yeah.
attracted to you. Really don't want to.
Right. But you
But
were
I
still in the
just,
people pleasing.
yeah, yeah. And I was like, well, I don't want to disappoint him. I don't want to, feel like, okay, I didn't get married, so it's my fault again. It was still going back to the childhood.
Wow. I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me. Like, if you spent your whole life trying to please people because you think you're going to get in trouble if you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in a relational capacity, you got married. Was this the ring guy?
No.
Okay. So you got
Actually,
married twice.
this was my
Okay.
first marriage. At the age of 25, never lived with a man before or absolutely anything like that. So he was the first person that I moved in with, and all this stuff. And then, just trying to again carry biblical things, and like, okay, yeah, if I do all these biblical corrections, everything
Right.
is just going to be perfect. And the thing about it is that that wasn't it.
Right.
Oh, you do everything perfect if you wait for this, if you wait for that. Like, oh, is this going to work? And it wasn't. And we didn't really talk about real life. We wasn't
Yeah.
real with each other. We both wasn't, authentic. We hid behind so much.
Yeah.
And he was a great guy. I can't lie and say that he wasn't. We just both was torn from our past, to be honest with
Right.
you. No one cheated. He worked, made very good money. No, the ring was not $16.
I love
It
it.
wasn't a lot, but it was a couple of hundreds or
Right. Right.
something
Right.
like that. But yeah, but he was a great guy, hard worker. So yeah, that was my first marriage, and we got a divorce within 6 months.
Wow. So you had the childhood that you had. You got married, realized, man, this isn't working, got divorced. At that point in time, where is your head at?
Mm, I need another relationship. I need to get into another relationship.
Mm.
And so I got into
Okay.
another relationship, and he proposed, and he went to Case Jewelry. He got this ring,
Yeah.
and we met off of Facebook, and he got the ring. He proposed, took me to California, all of that. And so we actually did not get married. We was engaged for about a month.
Yeah.
It didn't work out.
Yeah.
So again, after that, it was another relationship, and ended up
Yeah.
marrying him. And so as you see that ripple of just relationships after relationships after
Yeah. Like
relationships.
trying to fix it almost with another relationship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Wow.
rather than fixing me,
Right.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So at what point did it just like all fall apart for you? Where you're like, okay, this isn't normal anymore. Like walk me through that moment where you're like, okay, this I gotta do something.
Yeah, after the second marriage in 2020, first beginning of 2020, I filed for a divorce. About I got my divorce about 3 or 4 months later. I
Okay.
got my divorce papers, and I woke up because he was mentally abusive.
Mm,
With the sadness, and it was a lot of name calling, and basically I wasn't supposed to be in that marriage
right.
at all, and I went into it broken.
Right.
And this man was actually in another relationship when we got married.
Demetria.
Yeah. So the second one was, I don't even know if it counts. I don't even know if it counts or not. I'm
Yeah.
so serious because he was actually intoxicated when we got married. So I'm not sure if he really remembered. He was still partially living with his mom. So I'm not sure if it really just count. But
Yeah.
after that, I ended up just gaining a whole lot of weight, and I was stress eating.
Right.
And I just didn't know where my life was just truly going, because my business was flourishing and I was making money from my business, but I was
Right.
giving it to him for the alcohol. And I just really didn't know how to like take full control over my past and the things that I've been through. And so, people were like, well, you got into this marriage, you got to stay in it. And I
Yeah.
was sitting here feeling like I don't want to be here no more. This is not me. I deserve more. So all of that was going through my mind. The Bible, then it goes back to that. Oh yeah, you have to be here, because if you leave, everything's going to be your fault.
Right.
This is going to, yeah,
And
this is
you're
going to
not
be
doing
your
your
fault.
job as a wife and all of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, when he wasn't working, I was trying to pay all the bills, take care of him, take care of my son. I was trying to deal with his alcoholism. I was trying to
Right.
deal with
Did
his
your son
lies. I was
come
trying to
in that
deal with his
marriage?
cheating. Hmm?
Oh Lord.
No,
Okay.
no,
Your son was
no.
your
Yeah,
son
my
was from the
son was
first?
actually born before my first marriage.
Okay.
He was
Okay.
11. Yeah, he was born before my first marriage.
Okay.
Hmm.
So you
Yes.
said, okay, so your son is walking through this all with you as well.
Hmm. Yeah, he's
Wow.
with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no father figures though. No one
Right.
really played with him that I got married to or talked to him or absolutely anything like that. And so when I went to the doctor and it was just like, you have high blood pressure, your
Mm.
cholesterol is high, you're pre-diabetic, you're blah, blah, blah. 310 pounds. Never seen 310 pounds on a scale a
Yeah.
day in my life.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm broken. And I was like, my business money, I looked at it and I said, it's gone. All the money I made from publishing books, and and I would tell
Wow.
him, the doctor said I'm pre-diabetic. It was nothing like, okay, let me change the way you eat. Let me help
Yeah,
you,
like let's
let
help.
me,
Wow.
it was, oh, you got $9 so I can give me a six pack of Coke 45. It was it was that.
It was
That's what it was.
wow.
Yeah, do you? Oh, okay, well, you'll be all right. It was like that, but I needed to wake up for myself, and I did. It was a wake up call, and I went down to the courthouse and I took my last money and I got a divorce. And I never looked back. He left that night. I never talked to him again, never looked back. But I knew at that moment that I needed to take control over myself.
Right.
And here I am, was about to get into another relationship with someone from Baltimore. And I said, you know what? No,
Right.
no. Yeah, it was that no. And people, I was sitting here watching all these Facebook panels and I was like, oh, yeah, I need to get out here and date and do a date. And I was just like, no. And
Yeah.
so since
No.
2020, it's just been me. And so basically, oh my God, like I've just learned to just love myself because I was just never taught self-love, was never taught what it was. How do you love yourself? What do you do?
Right.
Like how do you sit at home alone? Like I never thought that was possible, to be honest with you. I started finding out what makes me happy.
Yeah.
That didn't happen overnight. That took some years, still to today. Like I don't date. It's me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you needed
And
the time and the
so,
space. Yeah.
oh yeah. And didn't know I realized that I ordered my mat and workout things and I joined this Grow with Joe
Mhm.
exercising. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I love doing this every day. I put my mat out because I'm like I'm manifesting something. I'm
Yeah.
manifesting something here. I want a house that has my own gym in it. And so every day I would take my mat out, my workout stuff, and I would turn my YouTube on and would grow with Joe, and I would work out every day. And I say, you know what? I never knew that I actually liked working out. I never
Right.
knew that I like drinking a whole bunch of water. And it was like, oh, today, what's going to make you happy? And it was like, oh, I just want to get a new fan. I went and bought a $50 fan, and I just wanted to drink my wine and just let the fan blow.
Right.
Just
I
up
love
and
it.
down. Yeah, I was like, this is what's making me happy today.
Right. And so you're like
And
almost learning yourself.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
so cool. That's so cool.
yeah. And
I
I had to
also,
write a letter to that younger girl.
yeah,
Hmm.
I saw this like parallel line when you were talking before. You were saying that your business was flourishing, but you were going through all this stuff with your relationships. Like,
Hmm.
how did you see your worth enough to have your business be as successful as it was? And in contrast, your relationships, it wasn't there in the same way. Like talk to me about that.
Yeah. So, that's why I wrote the book From Broken Woman to Businesswoman,
Yeah.
because I don't think that we talk enough about the trauma as an entrepreneur. I think
Mm,
that I know a lot of people hear the money, six figures, the money, getting to the money.
right.
And then when they get all the money, they're like, "Shh, there's something missing. Like they're not happy. Do you see how
Yeah.
many millionaires, billionaires have committed suicide?
Yeah.
Because a lot of things wasn't dealt with. The
Wow.
past wasn't dealt with. Childhood wasn't dealt with.
So you
A
were
lot of
almost like
things.
suppressing it and putting all of your energy into your business.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I had when I left the house at the age of 18, it was, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go to Harvard. And I was talking to this guy that had plenty of money.
Hmm.
And I was just like, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. Get these degrees, get these college degrees. This is what's going to help me, what I'm saying, overcome and
Yeah.
become this woman that arrived because of my past and
Right.
not really dealing with it. But anyway, I ended up getting into a car accident. So that's the reason why I came back here. But I had to write a letter to that younger girl. I
Yeah.
had to go back, not only with the self love, but I said, you got to deal with this.
Yeah.
What happened? Go back to that younger girl. And I had to write a letter to her. And I actually did a blog on it. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
And I had to let the old person die in order for the new person to be reborn.
That's dope.
And that old girl was hurt. She was broken.
Yeah.
She was born for a reason.
Yeah.
She was all of these things. She was torn. She didn't feel like she belonged in this world. So I had to talk to her and tell her that when you was a child, nothing was your fault. I had
Mm.
to get it out and I had to release her.
Yeah.
Even that 22-year-old girl. Like I'm 30, I was 35 when I started doing all this. And so I had to release all of these. Like, you're not the same girl you was when you was 22. You're not the same
Right.
girl you was when you was 25. And some
Yeah.
people would keep bringing it up and reminding you of your past and different things, but you
Girl,
never go
don't they
into
do
it.
it? Don't
But you
they
got to
do
say, you
it?
know what? That's no longer me. And I have somebody in the family. She's always bringing up, oh, you married this ugly man. I can't believe this man. This my first husband. My second husband was fine, but the first one, the first one, and I'm just like, I said I was so young then. I didn't know.
Right.
I was just like, I didn't know, but I can't believe you. I said, honey, I'm a totally different woman. I'm 30. Listen, when I'm turned 38,
Right.
I will begin to keep becoming and growing.
Right.
I'm no longer that girl anymore. I didn't know. I didn't know her. I didn't know who I was,
Right.
you know? And so right now,
I love, love that you're just you took
mhm.
ownership. Did you walk through this with a therapist or did you just do this on your own?
No, I didn't have a therapist.
I am
Mm-mm.
impressed because I'm like just the fact that you were able to give credit to that little girl and say, "Hey, you did your job."
Yeah.
And to the 22-year-old girl
Mhm.
and say, "Hey, you did your job, but it's time for me to be 37 and it's time for me to move
Yeah.
on." And even
Yeah.
to have the
Yeah.
strength to be able to tell the people around you like, "Hey, it's nice that you guys remember, but it's time to let it go too."
Yes. Yes. And a lot of people bring up my old husband and say, "Oh, girl, I seen your husband." I'm just like, he's no longer my husband.
Right. And
And he probably never was.
yeah, come on. You girl, you
He
better
never
preach.
was my husband.
Preach.
He never was. And I look back on it and I write, and people don't realize the power. When I talk about the power of your words, when I was talking about the
Yeah.
ring, I think that I was speaking.
Yeah.
I said, oh, I just want a man to love me. I was like, the ring doesn't matter. You know how women get the thing where,
Mm,
oh, it doesn't matter how much money he has. It doesn't matter. I just want him to love me. As long as he loved me. Those were my words. And guess
right.
what? That's exactly what I got. And I look back on, I say, it's not his fault. Nothing was his fault. And he wasn't a bad person. He was himself.
Yeah.
I wasn't a bad person. I was myself. Those were the things that I said I wanted. This didn't matter. That didn't matter. And that's exactly what I got. What you speak, what you think you deserve. If the ring doesn't matter, I hear a lot of women say that. Oh, it doesn't matter. I just want love. Love is all that matters. As long as somebody love you and you're there, honey, It's more than love.
It's more.
Oh,
And
it's
it's
so
like
much
just for
more
you to
than love.
honestly like be able to acknowledge like that's like you were accepting something that God didn't have for you. Like that wasn't for you. Like it
Mhm.
your words are so
Oh
powerful
yeah.
speaking things that are
Hmm.
not what is for us, like speaking things and accepting things that
Hmm.
we don't deserve and then getting
Yeah,
shocked that
when
we
you
get
speak
it.
it,
Yeah.
the universe hears it. Your body hears it. Your mind hears what you're saying and what you feel and what you think about yourself. And so, with
Right.
this new journey of just working out and changing the way I eat, it's still a journey
Right.
because I still like my other food, but it's
Come
still a
on.
journey.
Fry some chicken sometimes, you know? Like
Yeah,
it's all right.
it's still a journey. I went from a size 14, so now I'm like in a 16, 18. And
Okay.
so I'm still working my journey, but I look at myself every day with these affirmations.
Right.
And I always speak now what I want and what I don't focus on what I don't want, but I focus on what
Good.
I do want. And I'm crystal clear about what
That's
I
good.
want in life with myself,
Yeah.
who I am, and what I want. And the things that I say it like I already have it. I live in the end state. I live like I already have it. I speak those things that are not as though they already
Come
are.
on, girl.
I speak it like I already have it. And the words
Come
are
on.
I am, I am, I have, I am, I have.
So
And
tell me some
even
things
though
that
my
you are
current
and that you have.
situation,
I just want to hear.
so even though I always do things like even though I'm in a two-bedroom apartment,
Right.
that's not what I see. That's my
Hey.
current state.
Yeah.
But that's not my end state. I see myself in what I wrote on my vision board. And I tell people to not share everything. That's another thing I talk about in the book. Is keeping your mouth closed about your dreams, your visions, and about what you want in life. Even if it's a spouse, sometimes you just got to keep your mouth closed about who it is that you want, what it is that you want, and make sure that that person aligns with where you're going.
Mm.
And, I was marrying potential. I was marrying what he could be. I was marrying what I wanted him to be,
Wow.
what we could be together. We can do this together. And it's like,
Right.
no, you have to have that alignment. That person have to fit your journey and where you're going, with all of it. And so you have to already know that you have that person, the woman. You already have that woman. You already have that man. You already have it, and that person aligns with your journey. And I know
Have,
sometimes it may seem crazy, like this is how you got to speak it. I am wealthy. I am healthy every single day.
right.
I am in an amazing, healthy relationship. And it was hard for me because those are things that I never had before.
Right.
It was just like, man, is something bad going to happen if I begin to speak? It was like, man, it was like, no,
Girl, you
you
don't
have to
understand
change the way you think.
the way in which you're
Yeah,
blessing
you
me
have
right
to change
now.
your mindset. You have to change your mindset. And I think that a lot of us entrepreneurs go, oh, get the bag, but the money is coming. Believe me. Once you change your mindset,
Come
once you change
on.
your words, once you change what you know you're worthy of, and you don't let anybody else, because some people know your worth. A lot of people in my lifetime through my journey, I believe that they knew my worth. They knew who I was and where I was going, but they was hoping I never saw it. Even the mentors that I had was hoping I never. You got to even watch who you hire as a mentor.
Right.
They was even hoping I never saw it. Yeah.
I'm trying to get myself together because she done got me all out of sorts.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get myself together because I come from, I know you don't know this, but podcast night, you guys understand and know that I come from a place like when there was a lot of fighting and domestic violence in my home growing up. And
Mm-hmm. Wow.
same as
Mm-hmm.
you, where
Mm-hmm.
there was just a lot of not being
Mm-hmm.
able to trust that I can be secure and not being able to trust that I
Mm-hmm.
can be safe. And then even getting into my marriage I have
Mm-hmm.
now, there were a lot of things that I accepted. My husband's great. I love him. And like you were saying, he's not a bad person, but there was
Mhm.
a lot of things that I accepted because I thought, hey, like this is all I know. And this is
Yeah.
all I've been taught, honestly, that I deserve. And I don't mean that to bash him,
Mhm.
because we've come a long way, but he
Yeah.
came into
Yeah.
marriage the same way. Like he had
Yeah.
only been treated a certain type of way by
Mhm.
women. And I think we're just now getting into the space where we realize the power and the things that we say and the
Mhm.
power and the things that we allow. And
Mhm.
there was even a moment where I just told him, like, we got to stop saying, like, we're in an argument. Like, we got to stop saying
Yeah. Oh
that,
yeah.
girl,
Mhm.
because truly, and I know there are people out there who don't believe, but I believe the Bible states, I mean, it's everywhere that your words have power and
Mhm.
weight.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
And
they do.
And I don't think that it ever really fully realized within myself until I started to be like, well, what if I started to say, to your point, I have a healthy marriage? What if I
Mhm.
started to say we're getting to the place where our marriage is just about joy and
Yeah.
happiness and success and
Mhm.
love? Like, what happens if I say that instead of, I guess we gotta go back to therapy? We got an argument about, you know what I mean? And I'm like, same thing
Yeah.
with my
Yeah.
podcast and everything, where I even getting you, like, there was a point in time where I'm like, can I really, like, just reach out to people and be like, can you be on my podcast? And I'm like, what if I believed that my podcast is making the change in the world that it is? And I just started
Mhm.
to, and like to your point, I love because you were like, I saw your page and I just thought what you were doing was awesome. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think I ever believed that people were watching me.
Yeah.
And I just think that's so, so, so great that you said all of that. And
Yeah.
um, that you just made that point to our audience and to me, that people are watching you and people are watching you and want to see you do bad. And people are watching you and are waiting for you to recognize who you are
Yeah.
because they want to see good from you.
Whew, I love that last one, girl. Yeah, they waiting for you to recognize who you really
Yeah.
are. I love that.
Yeah.
I
Girl,
love it. Mm.
I feel like I could
Love it.
literally talk to you forever. Like forever, because you're so dope. But I do want
Yes,
you to tell the audience a
yes.
little bit more about your book. Tell them where they can get it. Tell them where they can reach you. All of that stuff.
So, From Broken Woman to Businesswoman is available on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, Books a Million, all those amazing places. And it's in Kindle, it's in paperback, and I am on Facebook as Demetria Buie. I am on Instagram at Demetria for real, FOR, Demetria for real. And I'm on Twitter, Demetria Buie 2. Yes.
Awesome.
So
And
follow
I'll
me on
definitely
Instagram. I am in the Instagram streets these days.
listen. She in these streets and her Instagram is fire. And I will tag you in all the things. I
Yes.
love you. Is there anything that you want to leave with our audience that you felt like you didn't get a chance to say?
Man, yes. I want to leave with the audience if you feel stuck
Mm,
or if you're feeling lost in your life, no matter what age that you're in right now. Because many people feel that they can't be themselves. They feel like they don't know who they are. And a lot of people are living under somebody else or they're living for somebody
yeah.
else. And I say the biggest thing of my life was becoming this person where I'm like, this is me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm this goofy girl
Right.
that love to make jokes and that love to laugh and I love to dance.
Yeah.
I love music.
Right.
Like,
I
and
just
I would always just be like, oh no, I'm not gonna do that because people gonna say this about me if I dance. They're gonna say this if I really just be myself and just you know and it was like, no, this is you.
right.
And it was just like, no, Demetri, and I'm finishing up my first novel. And the girl was like, this story is just, she was like, I love it. And I'm like, this is me as a writer. I'm a romance writer. This is me. This is what I love to do. I don't care what
Right.
anybody says. And I just tell people to, if you never have found yourself or found what you love doing, it took years. It didn't happen overnight, the next month, and it may take you shorter time than years. You know, find you,
Yeah.
and not through relationships,
Yeah.
because that's what I was trying to find you through. You
Mm.
know, somebody, someone,
Yeah.
something, you know. And it was like, no matter how big your business is or how big you are, if you had not dealt with that ghost from the past, or, you know, only person you're fighting is yourself. You know, we are our biggest people that we feeling like somebody else is holding us back, or we always saying the devil or the enemy. No, man, you've been the one that's holding yourself back, because your words have power. You have power. You don't need nobody to throw you on the floor and slang you around the room. You don't need nobody to lay hands on you. You don't need another um nothing. You need you. You need
Yeah.
you to open up your mouth and look in the mirror and say, I am beautiful. I
Right.
am worthy. I have a successful relationship. And say this every single day.
Yeah.
And even on YouTube, listen to those affirmations. I'm telling you, man, it's going to change your life. And get into a space in the morning and meditate. That can be your prayer time, your meditation. Stretch your body. Get on that mat on that floor. Stretch your body. Learn your body. And it was just, girl, I was laying in the bed, and and I was just like, I started feeling my knees, and I could feel my bones in the back of my leg. I was like, Lord, I didn't even know I had bones in my knees. And I said the weight was just dropping off. I was like, oh my God, I got bones in my
I
knees.
love it.
I was like, I got bones in my knee. I was like, Lord, I can feel my bones again.
Listen, I've been there.
I was like, I didn't even know my thighs on the outside had bones. I was like, oh my God, I can feel my bones in my. I was like, is this normal? But I was like, yeah. So, but
OMG.
yeah, man, you know, getting to love yourself, and for me, I just believe that love will definitely come in due time. And when you practice that self love, I mean, everything that you deserve, everything that you say that you wanted, and don't share everything with everybody.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying that I don't even post my vision board. You won't see my vision board.
Right.
You know, and when things start to come to pass, I'm marking it off. I'm marking it off, because
Right.
when you begin to share everything, it's kind of like you be like, man, how such and such know everything? Why this didn't work out? Why blah blah blah? Yeah, because you telling the enemy everything. How do we know
Right.
everything? Because you telling absolutely everything.
Right.
And that was one of my biggest things I had to learn, was to keep, and number two in my book was keep your damn mouth closed. And it
Mm.
took that. It took that because it was like a hard thing for me to do. It was like, you need to shut the hell up.
Right.
Girl, you talk to me. When are you gonna
Yeah.
learn?
Yeah.
When are you gonna learn?
I feel like
You
I
know,
learned that
so
lesson. I learned that
yeah,
lesson
that's my
even,
advice, man. Is
yeah. No, I'm just
no,
saying,
go
I
ahead.
feel like I even learned that lesson when I started podcasting. And I had
Hmm.
a podcast the couple weeks ago called Do the Thing. And one of the
Hmm.
points in it was um,
Hmm.
how sometimes the people closest to you, your family, your friends, they still see you as the person that you were and not the person that you
Hmm.
have declared you are now. And when
Oh
you, like
yeah,
you said, when you open your mouth and you start telling people stuff and
they
expecting
see
people
it.
to support you,
They see it.
yeah,
They see it. They don't want to accept it. They see it,
yes,
but it's hard for them to accept it. And they probably see something like, dang, I wish I had have done this at this age, or I wish I had have, been able to change this and they didn't, or man, I wish I could have lived that type of life. And so basically to make them feel good, because I go through that, and
yeah,
to make them feel good is to, oh, let me bring up her past. Let me bring up something
yeah.
she used to do to make her
Like bring
look
you down
bad.
to size. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the thing about it, I tell people, can't nobody bring you down unless you let them bring you down.
right.
Yeah, sometimes it hurt. Like, damn, this my family. Like, I can't get
Right.
a positive word today. Like you can't uplift me today.
Right.
You just came from church. You still speaking negative? You
Right.
still talking negative? Which I already know they don't mean anything. But
Right.
I'm just like, dang, all you got to do is say bad things about me.
Right. And you would think you wouldn't.
You would
You would
think.
think you would be the person that could trust that you won't. And
Mm-mm. And
it's not
sometimes
like
it be the
that.
person right under your nose. You like, dang, it was you the whole time. It was you the whole
Say it
time.
again for
Like
the
when
people in the
people,
back.
yeah, and when you look around, you like, dang, it was my brother the whole time. Damn, it was my sister the whole
Right.
time. Dang, it was my cousin,
Right.
the person I talked to and looked up. It was you the whole time.
It's so
It
real.
was you that didn't really like me. It was you that didn't really want me born.
It's
Because I have one right now. She always tell my mom, "You should have been on birth control. You knew you weren't supposed to have that last child. I'm the last child." And she said the oldest, she tell her, oh, it's five of us. And she tell my mom all the time, you knew you, mom, you knew you shouldn't have had that. You just mean as a flick.
right and messy. And
Yeah,
you're so right. And I'm like standing here, I'm like, you know what? Demetria said, I am a businesswoman. Demetria said, like, let's go. And I'm here for it. I'm ready.
yeah,
I
oh
love
yeah,
it.
oh yeah,
I love it.
yeah, yeah. You have to, and you know what? And I tell you to even take it a little further. See yourself hosting people. Write it down. I see myself um with this type of people on my guests on my show. I see these type of guests
Girl.
and begin
I'm
to just
already in
write it
this conversation.
down.
I'm already like, I know people
Yeah.
who I don't know who
Hmm.
got platforms that are much bigger than mine that I'm like, they're going to be on my podcast.
Hmm. Oh
They're going to
yeah.
be on my podcast.
Write it down. There you go. And begin to just, you know what? And one last thing that I would say is begin to just be grateful and thankful.
Yeah.
And in my life of, at 37, I'm getting ready to turn 38 in May. As I look back over my life and I just say, you know what, God, thank you. I go outside between the trees and the grass and between nature. And I say, thank you. I said, thank you for everything that I went through in my life.
Come
Thank you for the
on.
good.
You're gonna
Thank
make
you
me
for the
cry.
bad.
Stop.
Thank you for the homeless
You're
time.
gonna
Thank
make
you
me.
for that marriage that I wasn't supposed to be in. Thank you for this. Thank you for that. Thank
Yeah.
you for the phone call. Thank you for the phone call I didn't get. Thank you for the ones
Come
who don't
on.
like me.
Come.
Thank you for the ones who
Shut
didn't
up.
want me born in this life. God, thank you. Thank you. I'm so
Wow.
grateful. Thank you for this apartment that I'm in right now. But thank you for the new house. Thank you. And you just begin to have that gratefulness. I'm talking about deep down inside.
Yeah.
That grateful life, that grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you that my mom is still here. I get to walk across the street and still see. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for everything. And
Right.
when you begin to have that grateful and that thankful attitude, thank you for the ones who left me, the ones who didn't want me. Thank you for that
Yeah.
man that didn't want me. Thank you for the one who tried to rape me. God, thank you so much. And begin to just have that grateful heart and just thank him for all, even the bad things. Just begin to be grateful and thankful for.
Girl.
Watch your life turn around.
Girl.
Watch things turn around for you. And I think that people really don't realize the power of your mindset and the power of gratefulness and the power of thankfulness, because some people be like, oh, girl, this person messed up your order. And when I'm like, girl, thank you. I'll take the tomatoes off. Thank you
Listen.
anyway. Thank you.
Listen,
Thank
I'll take an
you.
extra chicken nugget.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah, thank you. I just say thank you. And people don't understand, like, why are you being grateful in the midst of somebody messing up your order? Why are you being thankful in the midst of this, in the midst of that? Because you want to see your life change
Mm,
dramatically in the midst of your thankfulness. Yeah. And freedom. So you're going to become free from all them
freedom.
people.
I love that.
Yeah. No more a people pleaser. Don't care. Mm-mm. It is about you. You matter. You're worthy. All of that. Yeah. Yep. You're here. You're here for a reason. You was born for a reason. Some people may can't stand that you was born, but you're here. Yeah. And you got a calling on your life. So
Woo!
that's it. Yeah.
Listen. I Love this. I had so much fun. Did you have fun?
Thank you. Oh my God, this was so therapeutic. Conversation, people don't realize just a conversation, man, will
Yeah,
change your life. Conversation with the right people
right,
will change your life. And that's another thing to be thankful for. Thank you for all the good, healthy, upcoming relationships.
right. I
Yeah.
am so thankful for the relationship that I now have. Because, girl, we here now. You ain't gonna get rid of me. The
Oh,
relationship that I have
yeah.
with you, the relationship I have with you, and the relationships that I know are coming because I've decided to do
Oh,
what
yeah.
I'm doing, because I decided to be vulnerable, because I decided to start
Hmm.
something that no one else was doing. Even if it is another podcast in the sea of podcasts,
Yeah.
I know that there's something on this one. I know that God
Yeah.
called me to do this for a ministry for a reason. And I'm
Hmm.
so thankful for that. And thank
Yeah.
you for being on my
Yeah.
show. Thank you for blessing our audience
You're
and showing
so
up and showing
welcome.
out.
Thank you, girl. You know what? You should definitely think about come hanging out with us for my sixth annual, September the 15th and the 16th, in Hollywood, California, and we are going to have an amazing time. So, girl,
Girl,
yes,
send me
think
the
about coming
invite.
to.
I'm there. Let's go
Oh
to
yeah, I
Hollywood then.
will. Yes, girl, would love to see you, have you, have fun with you. Hey, oh, it's going to be an amazing 2 days. So, yeah.
Yes, yes. I want the
Yeah.
invite. I want it.
Yeah, I would definitely send it to you.
All right, podcast land. How do you feel? I don't even want to ask you because I'm still on a hangover myself of just digesting all of the gems and all of the knowledge that Demetria dropped on us today. But as you know, relationships are tricky, but I hope you had something to take away from the conversation that we had today. Make no mistake, I would love to hear what you love most about this podcast episode. If there's a topic that you're like, niche, you got to talk about this next, you got to get this person on, I'm here for that. Hit me up on Instagram, where I'm most active. That's Unleash the Niche, Unleash THA, Niche. Also, if you want to go deeper, engage with me more, you can always join Patreon. Patreon is the place to let me know if you have podcast episode ideas as well. And you get the podcast early, you get the video version of the podcast and personal blogs and much more. Remember, hit the notification button and 5 stars and write a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere you listen to your podcast because that helps the show get noticed. That's it. I loved hanging out with you guys today. I loved hanging out with you today. And I don't know, maybe we can impact the world or something. I'll leave you
Oh
with
yeah.
that. Bye.